big sky, big potential. In association with Mills and Reeve, this is Eastern Promise. Achieving more together.
So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this Cambridge Wide Open Week 2025 Riverside Chat here at the beautiful Hawkston Mill. My name's Mike Rigby, for those who don't know. I know you know, and I know you know. But for the two people who don't know, I'm Mike Rigby. I'm Chief Executive of Eastern Promise, dedicated to promoting, showcasing, celebrating the East of England, either as a whole or in part like this. Most of our work is through our eponymous podcast, which I know that 50% of you know. And if you've listened to our work, give me a cheer.
That's the cue. Cheer.
If you've listened, thank you. My mother would be so proud. So that's where Eastern Promise does most of its work, how we get to see so much of the region, from the Norfolk coast to the M25, Lowestoft across to Hertfordshire. Today we're talking all about Cambridge though, for this is Cambridge Wide Open Day, a part of Cambridge Wide Open Week, and I have plenty of stories of our adventures to share. Full of bright, brilliant people, sharing experiences, imparting knowledge, and to keep up with the whole theme of the week, I'm going to raise my game and employ a bit of a storytelling wheeze. So join me now, if you will, for a magical journey entitled Choose Your Own Cambridge Adventure. I shall regale you with tales tall but true of my own escapades here in the UK's capital city of science. If you like, who recalls the children's book, where you could sort of turn to page, if you want to go down the dark and dangerous stairs, choose page 32. You'll get to choose the route we take, and I hope this works out because I've spent so long drawing, you can do this, and if you do that, you can go that way, but I'm recording this, so I'm expecting real audience participation. Please keep it respectful, no lewd comments. This isn't some kind of pantomime, you know.
No nude comments.
Lewd.
Oh.
Right, hang on a minute. I'm going to tee this up again. This isn't some kind of pantomime, you know.
Oh, yes, it is.
You understand the assignment. Bravo.
He's behind you.
He is.
Hello.
Hello. So, we can either go back to where it all began for Eastern Promise on the first anniversary with a special event that began in Norwich but ended here in Cambridge, if such things are even possible, or will we go bang up to date with UK Reef in Leeds? All those who want to embark for the great train adventure say aye.
Aye.
Well, that's pretty... I was going to say, all those who want to embark for Leeds say why, but you've done train day, so I can push the button saying train day.
That's a bit off.
Nay.
Come down from the north.
Well, there you go. So, you've chosen to begin at the beginning. What an excellent place to start. Let me set the scene. October 2022, Eastern Promise is 1 year old, and in my infinite wisdom, I decide my well out of warranty wisdom, I should say, to spend this milestone starting towards my goal of cracking into Cambridge. We gathered at Norwich Station, representatives from all across were you there? This was pre-Adam. All across the Norfolk economy, some guests who had even come up from Cambridge. We duly boarded the train at Norwich, which speeding across the Norfolk and Suffolk heartlands towards Cambridge North, Cambridge, and hopefully very soon, Cambridge South. But the plan wasn't just to sit and enjoy the beautiful surroundings through the window. No. Around the tables on the brand new Greater Anglia trains, I chaired 3, round tables that you can actually hear on the podcast. For the first leg of the journey, we had Transport East, Greater Anglia and Brecon Council, talking about the potential of the stations along the route and what we needed to do to get that hourly service to a half-hourly service. We then switched to talk about the business links with the Norfolk Chamber, Nelson Spirit, which is a charity that works towards getting people to stay in Norfolk and which is a bit of an odd choice, I grant you, and Carter Jonas, William Rook from Station Square here in Cambridge. And for the last one, we switched to look at the science links with Belinda Clark of Agritech E. We got Ros Bird of the Norwich Research Park, the University of East Anglia, and Douglas Cuff of IQHQ to discuss the science links twixt Cambridge and Norwich. Really exciting is that those links are continuing to grow, something we are going to come along to and something we'll always champion on Eastern Promise. Having reached Cambridge, we poured out onto the station square, the beautiful station square, first time I'd actually seen it, and then popped into the Carter Jonas office for a spot of lunch. Then we all ambled home at our own speed. As I say, those panels can still be heard on the Eastern Promise podcast feed. But what was clear after the fact is we could have done more with that. We could have really made more of the number of people on the train rather than just focusing on the panels. We could have more actively involved them in the networking. We could have also done a lot more when we actually got to Cambridge to make more of the fact that we were there. But for that day, enough was as good as a feast. But this is something we are working to repeat with Transport East in the future as they are campaigning, and we are supporting them in that for better improvements and, again, that more frequent service. So, our next station stop, all in favour, I know what you're going to say about this, all in favour of journeying to learn about the CoLabs project at NIAB, say Laura. And if you want to hear about investing in innovation, say ka-ching. So for Laura, we have a...
Laura.
Yeah, Laura.
Right, Laura. There, Laura it is. This is nice and simple. Right. So I've entitled this, I've made it sound a bit like a CBB science show, and I've called it Laura's Lab. So you can tell her that. In 2017, Cambridge Ahead published its review of lab and incubator space for Cambridge. And it was written by Nick Manley, to give him his due, of the Cambridge Real Estate Research Centre. The review found shortages, waiting lists for space in some locations. Obviously, the pictures have evolved since then, but some companies pursuing DIY solutions. Apparently, you too can build a biosafety cabinet with an IKEA Billy bookcase, a hairdryer, and two rolls of cling film. Otherwise, this is a constraint on what would otherwise be growth classified officially by the Department of Science and Technology as gangbusters. Into this picture arrives startup specialist Laura Grimwood with an intriguing model for meeting this need for lab space based upon her experiences in the USA. Now, you can correct me the record if I get any of this wrong, Adam. Laura told me, because Adam was there when we recorded this, Laura told me she was struck by the absence of that affordable startup space. Kept waiting, hoping, dreaming that someone would bring this very successful American model our way. With a flash of clarity, she decided that somebody was going to be her. And how very Cambridge is that? So at NIAB, the National Institute for Agriculture and Botany in Cambridge, Laura has deployed the model to astounding effect. But Mike, you cry. Mike, what is this bloody model? Sorry, Mum. Is to provide a more affordable model to startups that don't so much strip out the bells and whistles, but instead offer a nearly new bell and a lightly used whistle, most of which startups can't afford anyway. There's normally, for example, quite high ceilings. So that's a nice to have rather than a need, leading to an easier time going through the planning system. The basic point of this model is segregated, flexible space with plumbing, electricity, and somewhere to work, which is pretty much all you're looking for, really. So the CoLabs by Journey facility, that's what it's called, correct? That's right, yeah. Thank you. Second-hand furnishings and equipment from other sites, donated by partners that were otherwise going to end up in recycling in the tip. Reducing costs to give Laura's Lab a real sustainability edge. Local authorities have got lots of similar buildings lying around in their area, structurally sound, and yes, these are the tenants they're looking for. The idea that all mod cons at their very shiniest need to be provided means this resource isn't being deployed in the way it could be. Next stop. We can talk about the incredible work of Innovate Cambridge if you say Glasshouse, and to hear about my chat with Dr. Hugo Ford and Shelley Fake about the new Cambridge Cancer Research Hospital, say aye. So, for the Glasshouse, anyone say want Glasshouse? Oh, I think I know where this is going then. So, for the Cancer Hospital, say aye. There we go. I can push the button. Yep, it works. I go to the right place. This next outing was my first visit in a non-medical capacity to the biomedical campus, and it concerns the quite literal creation of hope on a scraggly piece of scrubland, which is currently occupied, or at least the time I was recording, by one bloke with a transit van and a spade. That man's name? Doug. When he's not using the spade, Douglas. I use that gag, very cheap, to lighten the mood before ploughing on with some tough statistics. In the UK, see my face has gone serious now, in the UK 375,000 people are told they have cancer every year, and half of those diagnosed will die from the disease. Even for the survivors, the cost is incredibly high, for them, for their families, for the country at large. In Cambridge, though, clinicians, fundraisers and researchers want to, in their words, change the story of cancer. A new purpose-built hospital on the already world-class, world-renowned biomedical campus will be created in partnership with its patients to save more lives and push towards more innovation in the care and treatment of this pernicious, implacable condition. Hope is kindled with a brand new 7-storey cancer research hospital combining both functions on the Cambridge Biomedical Campus. We talked to Dr. Hugo Ford, Director of Cancer Services for the Cambridge University Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust, and the wonderful Shelley Thake of the Adam Brooks Charitable Trust. They came on the podcast to share news of what's planned, the fundraising drive, and what the research hospital will seek to do when it's finished. And one thing that really enthused me was the intent expressed by Hugo to bring together researchers from across the UK, across the world, including the colorectal cancer researchers at the Quadram Institute in Norwich, to focus their efforts on a collective strategy to beat cancer once and for all. Not only that, AstraZeneca is literally a few steps away, leading even greater power to these efforts. So since you're here, can I urge you to, wherever you can, support the efforts in fundraising, either be participating in those events or sponsoring those who do. Now, Cambridge is by far the best place for this hospital, in my opinion. The new Cambridge South Station, soon to be followed by East West Rail, will make transport to the hospital easier, with the city uniquely able to attract funding, creative innovators, inquisitive researchers to join the fight against cancer. And on that message of hope, where shall we go next? To hear about the Cambridge-Manchester partnership from the Northwestern perspective, I'm going to want to get you to give me an ecky thump. But if 3 is your magic number and you want to hear about the Triple Chasm, give me a mind the gap. So, for Cambridge-Manchester partnership, nice. I'm so sorry. I will say that there is a very, very good chance we might have another opportunity.
Later, he's here doing Triple Chasm talk, I think.
He is. Uday, he's marvellous. So, who here has attended one of the Innovate Cambridge summits? There you go. At the City's Guildhall, there's been at least 2 now that I've certainly been to. We've all applauded the... Oh God, someone's checking their watch already. This is a disaster.
I'm not checking.
Oh, your heart rate, obviously, it's getting up there. You'll have enjoyed me in applauding the groundbreaking partnership between Innovate Cambridge and what's now Uni M at the University of Manchester, which is where I'm from originally. On paper, the 2 cities are very different. If you look past the obvious contrasts, you'll see the ways that Cambridge and Manchester complement each other are far more important, far more exciting, far more capable of unleashing potential for both city regions. Life sciences are just one area, and most of Cambridge's biggest players have a foothold in Manchester, and vice versa. So I asked Dan Thorpe of Cambridge Ahead for his take on this partnership, and he replied to me, there is something special about the Cambridge-Manchester connection. So I resolved to find out more, not just from the Cambridge perspective, but to do so from the Mancunian point of view. Now, I was absolutely thrilled to leap on this excuse to go back to the city where I was born. And I emerged from Piccadilly Station and set off down the fantastic red-bricked streets to the university, where I met Lou Caldwell and John Holden. Lou is a former tech entrepreneur who helped set up the Innovation District project, now working as a Professor of Innovation on the university's innovation agenda, where this partnership sits. And John Holden is also a Professor at the University of Manchester, Associate Vice President for Special Projects, which is a fantastic title, all about increasing the impact of the university on the economy and the society of the Northwest. Lou told me that fundamentally it's an innovation partnership about ecosystems with an ambition to create over time one connected ecosystem between the two cities, a kind of not a replica of the Oxford-Cambridge arc, but its own special thing. That's a technical term. Not just entrepreneurs and investors, though. It's got to be an inclusive model of growth that works for everybody in both places, some of those who feel left behind by the innovation agenda. Now, whatever anyone else says, I firmly believe social progress and economic growth are not mutually exclusive by nature. You can bring communities with you and drive economic growth at the same time. And as Lou put it, it's not right to have people begging whilst trains are going up. It's not right to have hungry children while billions flow into the economy through investment, innovation, and so on. So what struck me about the conversation were two things, essentially. And Lou made this point very clearly. The era, I've said this so many times, the era of competition is over. And second, the extent to which the partnership is one of shared values. Not exclusive values, but it's no surprise that these two cities are driving forward this partnership together, and certainly underlines a point by the Illinois Governor, J.B. Pritzker. If you want to find the smartest people, the smartest person in our room, look for the kindest. So, if you tell me you enjoy this talk, this means you're both wise and kind. So, oh wise and kind ones, where shall we go from here? So, to light the way through the labyrinth of rare disease, should we light the beacon by saying whoosh? Or to hear about a groundbreaking partnership between Cambridge and Norwich around probiotic and plant material science, I want to hear colon. So for beacon, it's whoosh.
Whoosh.
And for probiotic plant and material science, colon.
Colon. And I think whoosh, actually.
Oh, we'll do both.
Yeah.
We're doing quite well for time. We'll do both. So we'll go with the whoosh first, I think. So the Cambridge life science ecosystem doesn't only create pharmaceuticals and processes to fight disease. No. Whether chronic disease or catastrophic disease, it helps pioneer a holistic approach by reassuring patients and their families struck in particular by rare conditions. For the whole title is Beacon for Rare Disease, that they aren't alone, and that the tools to campaign for greater awareness are within their reach. So Cambridge is home to Beacon for Rare Disease, and it's a charity globally focused but based here that helps patient groups to form, to organise and grow, to connect and collaborate across the rare disease space. Beacon lives up to its name, existing as it does to provide light in a very dark time. I see people have arrived for the next talk already. The diagnosis of a rare condition affecting a member of your family, most likely a child. Now, Beacon helps to support and bring together families into patient groups, upskilling these groups, a powerful advocate, a fountain of mutual support, and a vital source of information. Would it surprise you at all to know that much of Beacon's funding comes from the pharmaceutical industry here in Cambridge? A major presence here, as you all know. So never let anyone tell you that ESG, that's environmental, social and governance funding, is a waste of time. We brought together the Beacon CEO at the time of recording, Rick Thompson, Blaine Baker-Garwood, I don't know if anyone knows Blaine, the sunniest human being alive, Sophie Muir, the co-founder of the Timothy Syndrome Alliance, which is one of the patient groups aided by Beacon. Sophie provided a fantastic example of how brightly Beacon blazes. Family found themselves on a decades-long diagnostic odyssey, and then they started Googling things, as you do. So with Beacon's help, Sophie started the Timothy Syndrome Alliance, more than trebling the community of families brought together who'd been impacted by the condition. And the importance is this. As Sophie says, she doesn't want anyone else to go through that same period after receiving a diagnosis to trying to find that new community. That's such an important thing. And Beacon, she adds, are a trustworthy and reliable source of information. I reach out to them if I need anything. Whether it's confidential or not, they've got the answers. They're a lifeline to these groups, an absolute lifeline. Beacon's entire mission is to try and support different patient organisations to grow, to form and professionalise their work so they can really transform the experience of individual families. But that's not all. The feeling reaches the big community that Sophie was hinting at, where you can connect with someone with one condition impacting their family and a family facing the same or a completely different condition. It's a crucial mission, and I cannot think of anywhere better to throw out this crucial lifeline. And because we've got a few seconds, I'm going to go back and do the other one as well. Now, Zampler, talk is not about punctuation, despite the fact we're all spending time looking at the colon. I see here, leave space for groan. No? Okay. In actual fact, this is about a Cambridge materials innovation company, Zampler, which once upon a long ago spun out from the university, but it's grown now to become a leader in plant and material science. What does this mean? Zampler have perfected perfect ways to coat dishwasher tablets with a plant-based film that doesn't contain microplastics, and also means of stopping pizza boxes from getting greasy. So I'm an absolute sucker, and Eastern Promises too, for stories that bring together parts of the region, especially particularly when one half of that is in Cambridge. And basically, this is an episode of the podcast I badgered into existence. Together, Zampler and the Quadrum Institute on the Norwich Research Park are working to advance probiotic microencapsulation technology. Anyone here take probiotics?
I've done.
There you go. It doesn't involve drinkable yoghurt. No. I was joined by the Zampler nutritionist Anna Pearce and Arjan Narbad of the Quadrum to get to the guts of the issue. So, probiotics help restore the natural balance of bacteria in your gut, including your stomach and intestines, especially when illness or treatment disrupt that. Sounds great. But probiotics are delicate. They're very sensitive to oxygen exposure, imbalances, and pasteurization. So from manufacture to munch, you've got to ensure they're as effective as possible. Where do you go to trial that technology? You go to the Quadrum Institute, home to world healing scientists, academics and NHS clinicians with a mission to deliver healthier lives through innovation in gut health, microbiology and food science. Probiotics can degrade through heat shock and over their shelf life, and so basically when you get a lot of probiotics home from the supermarket, they could already be largely dead inside the bottle. So the Zampler protective shell guards against all these environmental factors, ensuring it'll still be there at the end of its shelf life and once you consume the product. To find out more, you are going to have to listen to the podcast, I'm afraid. So that's me. That's so far, that is the sum total of my journey. Well, it's not the sum total of the journey through the ecosystem, it's the science-related, life science-related ones through the ecosystem. There's hopefully going to be a lot more to follow, including this recording. And I'm really, really pleased to be here today. I'm really delighted to have had your attention. Thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of Cambridge Wide Open Day, Cambridge Wide Open Week, and thank you for giving me your time.
Very much.
To hear other episodes of the Eastern Promise podcast and to find out more about what we do, go to our website at easternpromise.org.uk. Eastern Promise is a Pudding Shed production in proud association with Mills and Reeve. Achieving more together.